Hi, in this video I would like to show you one of my builds in Tota, which is Flamewood Totem. This is new support for Totem skills added in this league. So how does it work? You have to have Totem, which uses skill, so either normal or supporting one, placed on the ground, and then this Totem must be hit by enemy in order to proc Flamewood support. Damage over time does not count. It is not easy to make totems a target for enemy, therefore I choose Chieftain Ascendancy Arahongui, which makes any totem placed on the ground taunts enemy for 4 seconds. Those 4 seconds are definitely shorter for endgame bosses, so they must have reduced taunt duration on them for sure. I killed Maven Deathless, sorry no footage, and she has the shortest taunt duration, which I think is less than 1 second, so this is around 80% reduced taunt duration. Moving back to the skill, on the totem hit it releases one projectile which deals AoE damage around target. Base damage is taken from main skill totem life. In general, all totems have same amount of life on each level besides decoy totem. However, it has cooldown, so pretty trash for this build. The best solution after testing is Ancestral Warchief Totem with Val Variation. The Val Variation is a huge nuke for burst damage. Skill itself has many tags like spell and crit, so after some combination I found the way to make it crit and do a lot of damage, which is 1 million DPS for normal totems and around 7 million for Val Variation per projectile, and for sure it can be scaled further. It is important to notice that currently I found one bug, or I don't know something. It is connected to Eater of Worlds. Despite being hit, Flamewood does not proc, so probably the tentacles he cast are not connected to him and totems don't treat them as his skill. The biggest issue is with enemies that don't attack me or ignore taunt or are immune because of different sources, and this is, as you can see, the rocks with his banners. When banners are placed down, he is immune and totem cannot harm him. Another one is fortification doors. One guy with sword in Sanctum who dashes forward, he is taunt immune. And last phase of Elder fight where you have to burst him while he is not attacking you. So I have added to my build Divergent Holy Flame Totem just for those unusual situations. The damage is much lower, but they are doing their job, so it's okay. And as for the Elder, there is no other solution as Holy Flame Totem, at least for me. For Sanctum there is other option. I just have to put Totem where the monster will attack and it will proc it. Not easy, however works fine. This playstyle can be done as well with Shaper. Instead of taunting him, I can just put Totem on the way of balls he's releasing and Totem will attack. That works also for any other situations where taunting is very hard. Okay, let me show you gear that is feeding this amount of damage and survivability. By the way, watch your eyes drops, but shit rolls. Okay, so how does it work? Flamewood support, crit strike chance 5%, Avenging Flame. So to max it out, Sandstorm Visage plus Trepannon, so it is 100% crit all the time. However, I'm using also Malignant Fallacy, so it is a 41 less critical strike chance. So it still has to be boosted somehow, because right now it is 100, however without this enchant, 120%, it is only 59, and this enchant is not removed when the totem crits, so that's how is crit built in this skill. Other gear is the Address Tenur, just for increased spell damage, and as there is no life in most of my gear that I'm using, I went for Utula's Hunger, so this is the only life item here. Rings are just fire and chaos res and some stats to be able to use greater multiple projectiles. And non-channeling skills have -2 total mana cost, but mana, intelligence and avoidance to chill also plus 1 max fire res. Belt is Calm's Binding because huge boost for strength, because all strength in my tree is converted, you will see in a minute. And very important, 25 of Fizz converted to fire for nearby enemies, so not for everything but just for nearby. So this is helping me with my defenses, because despite I have fire resistance capped and chaos, I have very bad physical damage mitigation. So for some melee stuff, this is helping me a lot avoid one-shots. From far away, well, I put just totem so I can block something, because totem are hidden blocking until it is piercing. And that's all here, I guess. Flask, just immunity for corrupted blood, more life, some movement because I need movement, and this forbidden taste very good flask, just instant recovery when on low life. Very nice, and this is another layer of defense. Armor used when I take savage hit and 50% increased armor. So when I pop it out, I have 5000 armor, always something. Moving to my passive skill tree, ascendancies are Max Fire, and here, like I mentioned, Arahongui and Namaho Flame, because it converts Jevels to give fire damage, and any node is giving +3 strength. So, in order to boost the DPS, which is using, like I said, 140% of totem maximum life, I'm boosting base DPS by boosting totem maximum life. So this totem has 8700 max life, which is base damage. That's why the DPS is very high. And on my passive tree, I'm just boosting everything with increased totem life. Some max fire is here, and also here, and I believe here, yes. And here I'm using mana regeneration, because I'm casting this spell with mana, and I have pretty nice mana regen, 30 per point. So I'm kinda always having enough mana to do what I need. So everywhere is increased totem life, everywhere here. As you can see, Jevels are cheap base 5C crit multi with fire skills, and then just crafted it with harvest with life. So very easy to get. Maybe not like that, however this was just lucky roll. Pretty nice. So scaling crit, life and damage, so very strong. Here is 5% of damage from hits is taken from the nearest totem, so this is also nice mitigation. And then I'm scaling more life and some rest here. Here just took 30% reduced extra damage from crits, and here is this one I bought because first I wanted to both everything, and it also helping me to cap my resistances. You cannot be hindered, very nice. And here is one max fire. Here I'm taking a life effect recap occur over 3 seconds, because it is written here that 25% of damage taken by your totem is recouped as life. I don't really see the difference, but I'm using it. And here I took twice regenerate 15 life. Also nice boost, because I'm using Gracious Fire. Only for getting DPS boost, and here regenerate more mana, some crit against uniques, some life for totems, and here I convert 40% of my fist fire. I would love to take regenerate 1 life per second for uncapped resistance, but like I mentioned, I need my Avenging Flame totem. So this is Divergent Holy Flame totem with multiple totems with faster casting, fire pen, life tap, and added fire. So this can be busted with taking awakened added fire +1. Important note is here +1 to all level of strength skill games, and then here cluster with fire damage and some Elires. Dramatic Heart, Cremator for more damage. Here I have widespread distraction, and it's still not taken. Here I have totem damage, onslaught, and more life for totems and some damage. Here I get just 10% of fist taken as fire while affected by purity of fire. Here another one with crit and life to rest as well,
because it's quite okay. This is important also. 100% increased damage with it against ignited, and igniting pretty all the time. Fire penetration and another javel with crit, and some dex because I'm missing dex in my gear, so maybe I could change this, but the price will be much higher. This was 1 divine and it's fine for me. So that's the 3 in general. Other skills I'm using: steel skin with cast when damage taken, max it out, very nice, helping a lot. Purity of fire, just level 20, enough. Herald of Ash also, because helping to boost DPS. Here I have flammability, flame dash, faster casting, and divergent rageous fire. It gives increased spell damage, also very nice. And here I bought corrupted because I was planning to use some golems. I started with chaos golem, but it was daunting too much, I must say, so I have swapped to stone golem, and I'm using mid shield, so just to be close to me, and sometimes taunt, it's okay. Frostblink and maxed vitality just swapped with clarity when I tattooed my regeneration here. So I have overall with golem 900 life regen. When I pop up Rage's Fire, it's okay. No effects because it's the best in terms of clusterfuck, because there is so clusterfuck with other MTX that I don't want to use it. I'm using this MTX, it's also okay, and some ghost flame, I believe, totems, not normal, because normal are also clusterfuck, so avoid as much clusterfuck with this graphics. It's perfectly enough for me. Okay, one last thing I would like to mention, that Ancestor Warchief is level 21. With Val version it's not easy to get. I get it only by doing Alva missions and getting Doriani Institute, level 3 for games and corrupting. I have made like 5 or 6 corruptions with normal version to get level 21 with corrupted one. I don't think you can get any on the market. So 8,000 here, and here is 54,000 life, so imagine how huge DPS it is when you are dealing base 54,000 damage. That's why it's so strong. Okay, that's all for me, thank you, and